Hey y'all, this is Kylie from Wild Lemon Fitness. Thanks so much for joining us in our online studio. Let's work out. Hey y'all, it's Kylie at Wild Lemon's online studio. We're gonna do a quick ab series today, so let's get started. We're gonna come down to our mat and lower all the way down, sitting up tall on those sits bones. And we're gonna start with some pre-Pilates, really warming up our core. So send those hands out front, slide the shoulders down and back. We're rounding all the way down to the mat and then bending those knees and sinking in to the floor. Big things to look for here is that we're not arching up in our back. We're trying to sink down, pull the belly button to spine. And we're gonna start with toe taps today. So we're gonna draw that right knee up into tabletop and we're pressing that left foot into the floor. So I'm squeezing my glutes on this left side. On the inhale, we're gonna lower those toes to tap the mat. On the exhale, we lift. Inhale down, exhale lift. Keep going here. If you're finding that you're putting this work in this large muscle on the top of your leg, try to turn that muscle off. Maybe reach your fingertips for your hips and find that psoas muscle. We're trying to be pulling from our low abdominals here. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Let's do 2. And last set. Draw that right knee into your chest, then float that foot down to the mat, wiggle out those hips. Again, we can find that psoas muscle by reaching for our hip bones and fingertip walking in maybe an inch and find your psoas. So as you dig in, it's gonna feel a little tender and draw that left knee up into the chest, or rather into a 90-degree angle. On the inhale, we're lowering, reaching those toes toward the mat. On the exhale, we lift. Let's do 3, 2, and last one. Draw that knee into your chest. Take a big deep breath. Exhale, we're gonna draw both knees into tabletop. So they're 90 degrees straight out from our hip. We're gonna flex our feet, reach for those psoas muscles. On the inhale, we're gonna lower the heels toward the mat. On the exhale, we lift. Keeping that low back pressed into the floor, waking up those abs. Let's do 3, 2, and last one. Good, draw those knees into your chest. Maybe rock it side to side here. Starting to build a little bit of heat. And then send those knees back into tabletop. So I'm gonna peel my head and shoulders off of the mat here and I'm pressing the bottoms of my hands into the tops of my thighs. I'm gonna press those legs away. So I'm really activating through the shoulders, pressing those legs away, and then I'm dragging those legs back into my hands, waking up that deepest core muscle, that TA, transverse abdominis. Big deep breaths here. I'm already shaking. 2 more times. On the next exhale, float those hands to the ceiling. We're gonna lower them down to the hips. Begin slapping water here, pulsing those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. And exhale. 1 more big deep breath. Exhale, slowly draw the knees into your chest, lower the head, and rest, rocking it out side to side. If you're noticing immediately that the tops of your legs are already feeling sore, it's because we're putting the work in the wrong place. Try to draw that core in and turn off these major muscle groups for a little deeper core engagement. That was 50 of the 100. For the next 50, you can keep your feet pressed into the floor. Knees can be in tabletop, or we can be hovering over the mat to our full boat pose. So listen to your body. I'm gonna take this option today, since I'm doing all of these exercises in real time. Press these feet down into the floor, hands go to the ceiling, inhale. On the exhale, we're peeling up, ribs to hips, and pulsing those arms. Your gaze is at your inner thighs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. 3 more breaths, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. One more big deep inhale. Exhale slowly. This time I'm gonna extend my legs long, reach my hands overhead, and stretch like we're just waking up in the morning. Wiggle out those hips, shake out those knees. Keep that softness in the knees here. Take a big inhale at the bottom, and on the exhale, we're gonna sink the ribs as we pull up and over, stretching over the toes for just a moment, a couple of deep breaths. And this is gonna be our rest today. Between exercises, we're gonna be in a forward fold. So the softer we are in our hamstrings, the more flexible we're gonna feel, the higher up we can get in our rib hinge. A lot of people think that your core series or your core strength, it's all about how strong you are in your abs. A lot of time it's how flexible you are in your hamstrings. Shake out those knees, reach those hands out front. This time as we lower down, we're gonna float that right knee up into tabletop. Left leg extends out, slide the shoulders down and back. I'm finding tension here. I'm pressing that shin into my hands. See how that lifts me off the mat, and then pressing those hands into the shin. We're gonna switch and switch. Exhale into the switch. Last 3 sets. And then extend those legs long, reach the hands overhead. Rest. Again, this is our rest pose. Between every exercise, take a couple big deep breaths. Slow down that heart rate. Get a little softer. And then reach those hands out front. Again, we're tucking under. Abs are in. We're gonna float both knees into the chest and slide those fingertips to the ankles. On the inhale, reach arms and legs in opposite directions. Exhale, sweep them around and crunch. 9, 8, 5. Really reach those limbs. Exhale into the crunch. 3, 2, and last one. Draw those knees into your chest. Then extend the legs long, forward fold. Rest. Shake out those knees. Add a little wobble side to side. Come back to your breath. And going right into single leg stretch. So for this one, I'm gonna bend my left knee and place my hands around my right calf muscle. I'm gonna do that vice versa so you can see a little better. So I'm reaching for my calf. If it's more comfortable to reach under your thigh, do what feels best in your body. For me, I'm gonna reach around my calf and I'm gonna extend this left leg up to the ceiling, hovering that right leg long. Got a little micro bend in both knees. We never wanna be locked out in our joints. And we're gonna add a little pulse here. So drawing this leg to the chest for 1, 2, switch. Seven. Last 4. 2, reaching that opposite leg long. 1 more set. Lift all the way up and over, forward fold. That one was a little rough. It's early. Wiggle out the hips, stretch. Nice. Shake everything out. We're gonna get into teasers today. Since we only have a few minutes and it's all abs, why not do teasers? Teasers are all about flexibility in your legs, not really about abs. But we're gonna get into them anyway because you'll feel it in your core. So let's start by lowering down to the mat, wiggling out, catching your breath. Then draw those knees into tabletop, hands come to the ceiling. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, we're gonna sweep the hands up as legs come up for that high V. We're gonna hold this V. This is our full teaser here. Inhale, we're gonna lower the legs for 5, 4, 3. Keep going. I'm doing this with you. Last one. Lower those legs, reach the hands overhead, rest. We're doing it, y'all. We're teasing. Shake it out. Stretching between every exercise. The more mobile in our thighs, the deeper we can get into this work. So same thing again, this is our teaser 3. We just did teaser 2. This time we're gonna do some hollow body. So if you wanna draw those knees into your chest, maybe give yourself a quick roll out, mentally prepare, and then draw those knees into tabletop. Hands to the ceiling, big inhale. Exhale, sweep those hands up, opening up the toes. We're gonna open all the way up, reaching legs and arms in opposite direction. Exhale to crunch. 4, 3, little rough, 2, 1 more. Lower those legs, reach overhead, stretch, we did it. Good, nice. And then we're lowering all the way down to the mat. For a quick moment, we're gonna windshield wiper out those knees, stretching out the tops of the legs. Especially after a teaser, we can find ourselves a little bit tight in our quadricep muscles, those major, large muscles at the top of the leg. So shake those out, release your low back. Good. And then you have options here. If you have any kind of neck or shoulder injury, or just feeling kind of weak in the neck today, or have some sort of neck issue, keep your head down to the mat. If not, you can weave your fingers together at the base of the neck, and I want you to press your head into your hands. We never want to be tugging at our neck here. We're going to extend our legs up to the ceiling, pretty straight, but keeping a little softness under the knees. And again, you can keep your head in your hands, or you can lower your hands down to your sides, which is how I'm going to do it today. We're going to flex that left foot and inhale as we lower, then point the toe and lift. Inhale down, exhale up. 5. 3. 1 more set, stay with me. We're gonna break in a second, lower those legs, reach the hands overhead, rest. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Hopefully you get that reference. Rock it out. Shake out those hips. We've got one last little exercise here. So it's that same setup, only we're gonna keep those legs glued together. So it's gonna be really intense on those lower abdominals. So lowering all the way down, shooting those legs up to the ceiling. Hands can be, again, woven behind the head, or head can be pressed down into the mat, or we can be peeled up into a rib hinge. Pick your poison. We're gonna open up the toes from the hip. So heels together, toes apart. On the inhale, we're lowering down. On the exhale, we lift. For 5. 3. 2. We're in the home stretch. I'm shaking with you. Last one. We're going to beat those heels all the way up to the ceiling. Bend the knees into the chest. We're done. We did it. Let's rock up through center. We're going to come all the way onto our stomach, lowering down and stretch out those abs. Lots of contraction in the front body today, so we need to stretch it out. We're going to place the hands along the sides of the chest here. Press those feet into the floor. On the inhale, we're gonna follow our nose, lifting the gaze, lifting the chest as far as we can, then pressing into the mat for a full extension. And on the exhale, reverse it. Lifting those fingertips at the last moment. Inhale, lift. Abs are in, exhale, elbows are narrow. Think about filling up your lungs like balloons, them propping you up. Inhale. Last one here. As far as you can go, then press it up. Exhale, lower all the way down. Widen the knees, press back to your child's pose. Wiggle out those hips. Maybe walk to one side of the mat, stretching out those abs, stretching out those ribs. Then walk to the other side of the mat. Come back through center. Woo, we did it. Few minutes of abs. I hope that this really got you into your core and woke a lot of things up. We'll see you next time.